What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Clubhouse. It is the guy that everyone loves to hate and blame shit on when shit don't go right. Your boy, the Crooked Commish. Thanks for coming back into the Clubhouse, guys. Really do appreciate you guys. Please don't forget on your way in to hit that like button and to subscribe if you haven't already done that. You should have already done that. But if you haven't, I'm not going to hold it against you. Let's just go ahead and take care of that problem now. Anywho, guys, tonight we are going to be a trifecta here. The Mouse from the Bay, unfortunately, is not going to be able to join us tonight because he is getting ready to take a trip back to the motherland, going back to San Francisco there and catching a ball game possibly, and celebrating a few other things. So, but no worries. We have some guys to come in and help take his place here. Some guys that you've met before. You've all seen them before at the Clubhouse. They have found their way back, so we really do appreciate that. We have JD from Heart to Start. He's been on us before. He is going to go ahead and chop it up with us, talk some fantasy football. And we also have his co-host from the, Wake Your Game Up. That's what it is, Wake Your Game Up. Gen Network, Bogey is back with us again. So we are here to chop it up, talk some fantasy football talks, answer your questions, talk about some of these rookies that are coming out. And of course, we got to talk about the most recent trade that just went down earlier today regarding George Pickens and the Pittsburgh Steelers and him going over to Dallas now there and Big D. Pause. So let's go ahead and get the show started with that. Hit the like button, grab a drink. Let's go. And just like that, we're back. So guys, thank you for, like I said, coming back into the Clubhouse. Really do appreciate you guys checking us out here. Let me go ahead and bring in my co-host or my guest for the evening here, so we can go ahead and jump right into it and get into some fantasy football talk for you guys. So first up, let's go ahead and get JD in here from Heart to Start, and the first part of the Wake Your Game Up.
Yes, sir. What's going on with you, Crook? Pleasure to be back.
Not a damn thing.
Come on now.
Just chilling, my brother.
It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you for having me. Shout out to the whole Chicago Clubhouse Network, man. 100%, man. Let's talk some fantasy tonight, man.
You know what? That sounds like a damn good idea. Let's do
Come on now.
Let's do that. Peacock, thank you for being in the chat, man. Really do appreciate you. But before we get into the fantasy talk, let's go ahead and bring in our other co-host to help us chop it up here, because we got a lot to chop up. So from the Gen Wealth Network here, if you guys haven't subscribed to the Heart to Start or Gen Wealth, I really do recommend you guys doing that. Bones and Bogey, welcome back to the Clubhouse.
Hey, glad to be back. And shout out to our man Peacock. I had an idea for a shirt because I'm looking at myself backstage. I'm like, oh, I'm wearing a Wu-Tang shirt. Let's get some like a Wu-Tang inspired Wake Your Wagyu shirt. You know what I mean? The Wagyu.
Right?
Pause. But yeah,
I like that. I like that. That's funny. That's funny. You know what? Like Peacock says, it can be done. When there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
So yes,
Wu-Tang shirt would be dope.
PWN in the house. Yes, absolutely. So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. See, he's hearing, he's with it too. I like it. I like it.
Yes,
So
the
guys,
white dude.
let's go ahead and get into it real quick. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room, the thing that most recently happened, even after the draft, is the news coming out with George Pickens being traded to Dallas, exchanged for some draft picks. So how do you think Pickens is going to fit in Dallas and being the number 2 guy behind CD? And do you think him and Dak are going to connect? JD, let's go with you first.
Well, they, it only cost them a third and a fifth, so it's throwing stuff at a wall and hoping it sticks. But the young dude got a whole lot of potential, 100%. I think going into before he got drafted, he had like first round potential, but for some reason he did slide to the second. I forgot exactly what it was, but and he's flash. He has flash. He flashed last year. He flashed the year before that. So maybe Schottenheimer can bring something out of him, get him into a better system with Dak. Not saying that Dak is just a superior quarterback, but when it's in the regular season, Dak do know how to get the ball to the people that know how to get, that do need the ball 100%. My thing is that I hope it just brings back CD's 180 targets, 190 targets from 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Get him back to where he needs to be. Get some of the defense taken away from him. So, that's where I'm taking it from.
Yeah, and well, you must be a true believer because, like Peacock said, you already did draft Pickens in our dynasty league.
Well, so only reason why I drafted Pickens is because somebody took McLaurin and fucking DJ Moore before me, and then was my 2 picks.
I told you.
Yeah, 100%. Well, so I jumped in. So look, and I'm gonna give y'all some context to your trade. So before Dennis traded with you, he tapped in with me and was like, bro, what you want for that pick? I'm like, look, bro, I'm finna see how this board shake out and see what's going on. So when I said that, he hit me and was like, look, bro, that's why I had to go tap in with Crook because I knew you was going to take Hunter. So, yeah, I was definitely going to take Hunter at that spot.
Yeah, and I pinned you for taking Hunter as some kind of form of Hunter and Saquon or Hunter and Drake May. But then Drake May and Hunter didn't make it there. So you still took the Saquon. You know what I mean? And this is where you got to know, like, this is why what is it? Steel sharpens steel, the iron sharpens iron, whatever the saying goes. You know what I mean? Because when you took that Dak, that one threw me for the loop. I was like, Then I got mad at my brother for taking Drake May because I'm like, you made him take Dak from me. You know what I mean?
Right. And well, see, and that was part of that what happened with that trade as well is he had asked, or when he was talking about it, I was liking it, but then I was like, who are you trading for? Because, I mean, if you're trading for the guy that I'm looking to take, one or two things, I either have to come to grips that I'm not going to be able to get him and start looking at what other direction I'm going to pivot to, or just have to reject the trade and stick with the guy that I wanted. So once he told me it was Hunter, which, like I said, not a bad pick there considering that we're drafting individual defensive players in this particular dynasty, so he can be used on both sides of the field, so he's truly a wild card there. So, that could end up being a great pick for him for sure. Yeah, but how do you think he's going to be Travis Hunter with Jacksonville? Like, do you see him being, putting up numbers comparable to, Brian Thomas Jr.?
Well, maybe not the most. What is it? He had 17 yards per reception. I think it was. I don't know if T Hunter going to bring that to the table because they don't need him. They don't need him to do that. So with the short to intermediate route tree, he'll be able to eat because you got Brian Thomas to be able to take the top off. You definitely don't need him for that. Then you still got Strange, who you can work with the crosser routes with Travis Hunter and all that, and then. If you notice during Travis Hunter or during the Colorado showcase, he wasn't the one that was running the deep routes and all that. It was all the short to intermediate route tree that he was running 100%. So, and with the ball in his hands, the elusiveness and the electricity that he brings to the table, 100%. I don't know if he's gonna be, I think BTJR had 1,300 yards and ATD somewhere around there. You know what I mean? But I could definitely see him hitting 4,000 this year easily, bro. Maybe with 70 catches, 80 catches. And you got Liam Cohen coming over there. You got an offensive mind head coach who just helped Baker out get paid 100%. You know what I mean? And then one more stat about the Liam Cohen stuff. It was 70. It was 7 players with 50 or more targets last year in that offense. Yeah, in the Tampa Bay offense.
And if you think about it, right, this is my same argument I would have for George Pickens in Dallas, where I don't think the number one guys get affected too much because there's so many miscellaneous garbage that takes away all the other targets. If you just compile all that up and concentrate that down to Travis Hunter or concentrate that down to George Pickens, or Brian Thomas's and CeeDee Lamb's aren't as affected as people might think too. And this definitely boosts up both Dak and obviously Hunter's been probably got a boost from people getting Hunter, what's his name? T-Law definitely got a boost from getting a Hunter because they don't have a number 2 at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And to go back real quick to what JD, what you're saying earlier, before the show started, Bogey and I were talking in the background of like, and I was like, I had a feeling that we were talking about me doubling up with DJ Moore and Caleb Williams, and I was like, I had a feeling that you were trying to do that with Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry. Yeah, and it was the mouth from the Bay is the one that sniped you, or you know what I mean, and got him right before then. So seeing that, I was like, damn. I was wondering if you were going to actually do that. So you saying that, yeah, that was what you're going for.
No, 100%. No, McLaurin and DJ Moore was my top 2 Qs, and then I forgot what quarterback I took. 100%. I just made the pick like 30 minutes ago. 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was. I think you did.
Short-term memory losses.
I like what everyone's doing pretty much across the board right now. I don't see a mouse in the house, technically. You know what I mean?
So and then real quick, let's.
I almost don't even like what I'm doing.
Peacock
stay tuned.
What else? Stay tuned.
Dak will probably be less mobile coming off that torn hamstring. He needs top-tier targets. Okay, and then he's been getting sniped, I guess. East up, round 1 and 4 took Hurts and Jay Brown. I hate it when that happens.
Double up.
Yeah, that's frustrating as hell. You know, you start looking at some of your league mates a little sideways, being like, "What the fuck?" Like, you looking at my notes? You looking at my notes here? Come on, now, quit looking at my board.
Hey, that's how I be at the live draft.
So many leagues together. I'm like desensitized to it because like it's the same way. Like I'm like, for example, in this one, I go. I take Bo Nixon and I made my bed and laid with it because I was like, okay, I know this is gonna make me not like I know I'm missing out on more of this tier at receiver because I like to attack that tier as much as possible. You know, it's a 2-point per reception, and you know what I'm saying, you have to start 3 wide. This is just what I do, right? So when I took Bo there, that was kind of uncharacteristic of my builds this year, and like, but I wanted to have Bo. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's now or never right there. We have a Broncos fan in this league too. He even told me, I would have took him right there.
So, see, yeah, and like I said, that's kind of how it was with Caleb. You know, me being a Bears fan, obviously they already have that liking, but having the QB being in a flex position there, it's almost a standard 2 QB type of league and stuff. So
yes, and
so one of those, I didn't feel like he would be back around if I was to let him slip on. But I want to answer. Stay tuned. Rondale Moore is still out there. Stay tuned. You know, in the draft. You know, I mean, like if you want him, you can go get him this round. You know what I mean? I wouldn't recommend it.
Hey, stop saying names that haven't been drafted.
You're right. I'm gonna edit that part out. I shouldn't have done that. You're absolutely right, Bogey. So, guys, real quick, let's talk about one of the other exciting top players that came out of this draft, and Gentry. How do you see him panning out over there with the Raiders and stuff? Do you see him being one of the top running backs like we had the last few years, or is it going to be a little bit less of that because of being on the Raiders?
You want to go? Fuck it. I'll go. He's going to get 300 touches, whether it be 250 attempts and 50 receptions. You know what I mean? Because they definitely gonna need him in the PPR game 100%. So he's definitely gonna get the opportunity to eat. You got a Dylan Labe there. I can't even remember who else is on the depth chart at the running back position. So that just tells you
they still have Zamir White for what it's worth.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So that lets you know that Brad walking in probably into about 300 touches, 100%. So I love it. You know what I mean? You do have a capable quarterback in Geno Smith, who has for the last 3 years in Seattle been, getting his team to be in playoff contention or be in the playoffs 100%. And now you got that's huge bitch over there to go with Jacoby Myers and the Bugatti over there. It's like, bruh, they gonna have a nice little offense now. Can they protect Geno and be able to keep the defense honest to where it make it easy for Gentry to eat this year? Now that I don't know. So the yards per attempt might be a little low and whatnot, but he's definitely gonna get all of the workload, bro. 100%.
Yeah. And like the only thing I worry about with Gentry is like any rookie running back that comes into the league carrying an entire load is that we get 10 weeks in and they hit that fucking wall. You know what I mean? And you see all their averages drop off because they're just not used to that extra 6-7 games that they're finna play. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I worry about. But
luckily with Gentry, he was in the motherfucking national champion. I mean, he was in the playoff. So that was another extra game, I think it was too. So you go from the 12 to the 13. So he only 4 games behind. You know what I mean? 100%.
But with the body of work load in the NFL too. You know what I mean? That's my only worry. But he's built like a MJD type. So you know what I mean? We like that. If you bouncing off everything and you gone like what do they call that shit? Like a ping pong ball, bro. He be bouncing around. He's gone too. You know what I mean? Outstretched zone runs. It's Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly too. You can even just say that. It could have been whatever running back they had.
So you're like a pinball machine. Pinball machine bouncing everywhere.
Pinball machine. There you go. Thank you. Ping pong machine. What's wrong with me?
Man, Bones must be in your ear telling you the wrong things.
Bones is still upset. He ain't spoke to me in a minute.
He's still giving you the side eye right now.
It's been a long time.
He hasn't looked you straight in the eye for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Peacock is saying, "Don't you forget about Sincere McCormick."
The seasoning.
Yeah, the seasoning.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
he was
he came in a pinch. He was one of those waiver wire heroes for a week or two, but
it was
not a long term.
He died on us in
my guy was Amir Abdullah. Amir Abdullah got me into a couple of ships, but I didn't end up winning them ships. But he carried me through the playoffs.
He was
100%. Shout out to Abdullah.
You took care of your Amir Abdullah Obligatum.
Yes.
Yeah, Abdul, your head top.
Tell him to shoot you in the Oblongata.
Come on now.
So, guys, let's move on and talk about the other receiver that was taken in this draft, probably the true receiver, some would say. We had Tez, right? What's his name? McMillan, right? Ted, yes. Yeah. The Arizona kid, and he ended up getting drafted to the Carolina Panthers, if I remember correctly, and is going to be paired up now with Bryce Young. So how do you think he's going to fit into that system and mix with Bryce Young? We saw Bryce Young towards the end of the season actually show that he can be an NFL quarterback. He had a little, you know what I mean? If there was like a midway season comeback player of the year award, that would definitely go to Bryce Young, because the second half of the season, he, like I said, was coming around, looking much, much better. So how do you think he's going to be, that combo is going to work out?
Love it, bro. 100%. You got Canales. Canales, he come from up under the same system, that we was just talking about. Where he come, he was at Tampa before that. It's looked like, and with like how you let off with Bryce being maybe the second half comeback player of the year. Before that, he had to get sat down, kicked back, let the red rifle. Oh, and he was slanging that thing when the red rifle was in there 100%. So Bryce got to sit back. Oh, okay. Well, I'm the number one pick for a reason. I'm not finna get benched for the rest of my career. I ain't finna be like these dudes that got to go take another job as a backup to get my stuff started back again. My career started back again. This is my job. And that's what he did. So then you bring in a Tet with the Xavier Leggett, 100%. I definitely like the parent. And then, I was talking about JT Sanders towards the end of the year as well, too. But then he had got hurt. So, I love what they got going on in Carolina. Now, I'm not saying that they just finna win a whole bunch of games or nothing like that, but we do have some fantasy relevant players over there. Shout out to all my guys that got shares of Chuba. Chuba was going crazy last year. He gonna do the same thing this year, even though he got Uncle Rico and then ETN's brother. You know what I mean? But I don't think they gonna cut into it a whole lot. 100%. And then
I hope I can call him better ETN.
There it is.
Instead of Trevor.
Oh, every day.
Right. Go ahead, Bogey. What are your thoughts on Tet going to Carolina and how well do you see him being there?
I don't like that immediately he's gonna face number one coverage because like in their division, like that's AJ Terrell twice. We were just talking about this on Stay Tuned Live, and we had a Panthers fan on there last night. Shout out to all the folks that Stay Tuned.
Shout out to Ralph, man. Yeah. Shout out to the whole Stay Tuned Live.
He had mentioned how the lineup of cornerbacks that he's about to face, and then he was. And I was like, exactly, like you know what I mean, because that's just. And then not to mention that they're going to give him the treatment because he's the number one. It's not a de facto number one. He's the number one. He's going to be the guy on the perimeter. He's going to draw the best corner and the best and the double coverage. He's going to deal with that just like Marv did last year one. You know what I mean? So there's that. It makes me like Xavier Leggett and other things around them because it's like these other guys, you know what I mean, might be the guys that get open more. You know what I mean? So I do a little worry about Tet. I think his ceiling and or maybe how about this? His floor is like, let's say high to mid WR3. So that's the top 36.
Can Xavier get the hell open? Okay. That's a good question. I mean, he had one good game last year where he popped off and then he disappeared as quickly as
it's one more. Appeared. It's one more big game more than Ted McMillan. So
Hey, and then we still got the OG deal in there too, though. So that's another thing. And then you just brought in the old wide receiver, the Raiders' old wide receiver. I can't think of his
the oldest man in the face, Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow on my mama. So So, but that shows you that they're trying to put pieces around Bryce 100% on top of bringing in the investing the number 8 overall pick in a wide receiver 100%.
Oh yeah, he's coming back from ulcerative colitis. There you go.
Real quick, if Candlestick is watching, it's on you. The clock's on you.
Ooh,
the pick we just made now from the Bay ended up getting T. Higgins right now. So
it's a great pick. So good hell of a value in the 5th round by T. Higgins.
So what say that again? Oh, you're hoping that he would come back to you?
Yeah, because I've look at how much people hate T. Higgins. He fell to the 5th. I was like, hey, don't quit now.
I mean, I had him last year, and he was frustrating to have on the team just because of how many games he missed.
It's because here's where I fucked up. It's because I'm just wired a certain way. So I'm gonna pound out receivers and get mad that I'm missing out on these running backs when clearly like that I diagnosed that run there. I should have jumped on it. You know what I mean? But I put myself in that predicament with the QBs because I miscalculated the whole way. I shouldn't even took Bo right there. Should just took maybe a Puka, and then I would have been okay with whatever QBs in this range. Knock off 2 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what that's what Dan was talking about. He wanted what quarterback did he tell me he wanted? He wanted one of the quarterbacks that just got picked. I could go look, you know what I mean? But he was just texting me that.
What? Penix,
that's who it was. He wanted Penix. He thought Penix was gonna come back to him
whenever you get a chance.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, Peacock is getting sniped again. He says, "That's it. I'm taking everyone off on my queue." This freaking
the queue curse is real. I don't even put anyone on my queue until like I get to like round 9-10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, neither do I.
Because it's for the most part, it's pretty uniform. Like I don't have any JJ anywhere, and I feel really gross.
I mean, I feel like this has been Peacock pretty much this whole draft here.
Come on, man.
Come on, mine.
Come on.
Bullshit.
Let that player
Come
follow
on,
me.
man.
So, but next year, like, what are your guys' thoughts on the rookie tight ends coming into this draft? I mean, I think it's Brock Bowers set the bar pretty damn high last year with the level of production that he was able to, put out as a rookie last year. I think it's a pretty tall order to expect Tyler Warren, even though I do like him with the Colts, or Colston Loveland with the Bears to kind of put up that same level of production. What say you? How valuable do you think they will be this year in their first years?
I think they definitely walking into a nice target share. Now the only thing with
Which one, Tyler Warren or Colston?
Well, both of them. The only thing is with Loveland is that you got commit there. You know what I mean? But Loveland is the draft pick of Ben Johnson 100%. So you know, I don't know how they're going to incorporate both of those tight ends, but with Loveland being with the invested draft capital that he has, he's definitely walking on the field 100%. So I love it 100%. Now on the other hand, with Tyler Warren, even though you do have a merry-go-round of quarterbacks over there, and it has been below subpar quarterback play, but you do have the quarterback has made certain weapons over there fantasy relevant. I'm a Josh Downs heavy proponent this year, 100%. So with the Tyler Warren and the Josh Downs situation, is it gonna hurt my Josh Downs shares because of where they at and where they, the type of stuff that they bring to the table? That's the only proponent or where I'm worried about with Tyler Warren and Josh Downs. But I think Tyler Warren gonna have a nice season for sure. He walks into at least 70, 80 targets, maybe 50 receptions. I ain't gonna set the bar like how the Bugatti did last year 100%, because it's hard for tight ends to eat. But now they're starting to do that, as they're walking in, as within the last 4-5 years. We can probably take off Kyle Pitts, even though Kyle Pitts did hit 4,000 yards his rookie season and then he dropped off. But you start going into a little bit deeper dive of some of these tight ends coming in and having success in their rookie year, whether they be a first round pick or later on. You know what I mean? Hey, the tight end, and we in tight end premium leagues right now, 100%. So they have great value. So go ahead and get you some shares of Warren and Loveland.
Yep.
I know in college that you kind of saw Warren in the Wildcat in some instances, or kind of taking some handoffs. Do you see that at all in the NFL for him? Are them trying to incorporate and do that with him with the Colts, or they strictly use him as blocking?
Well, shout out to Shane Steichen, because Shane Steichen is a highly he's a highly, innovative OC, even though he is the head coach over there. You seen it when he was over there in Philadelphia. Now, I ain't going to say that they just going to line him up and just, give him a couple of handoffs per game. But what he does bring to the table is, with the blocking ability, is be able to sell the block and get the screen. So, he's going to be able to stay on the field as a 3-down tight end, just like Loveland, with him being 6'6", 250 something, and being able to block. They're going to be like a chess piece, bro. You you see George Kittle. George Kittle is the prototypical tight end, and in the comp to Warren is fucking Kittle 100%. Right. So if you want to see that type of shit out of Warren, then I think that's what he's going to bring to the table 100%.
Yeah, and I definitely like the idea of what Ben Johnson is building. He's trying to build his own version of what he had in Detroit. So, like a year from now, when they're when there's no more DJ Moore, because I think that the writing's on the wall. With drafting Burton. So now you got because he's eventually going to run more 12, right? So you're going to see Loveland on the field immediately this year. Even with Komet. You know what I'm saying? Because Komet, he's all right at blocking, but they're still going to run 12, and he's going to be on the field a lot. So they're not going to just spend the first round to let him get acclimated for an entire season. You know what I mean? Maybe they do run not as much 12 personnel as they did in Detroit, because you are going to have a cool 3 wide set, but I think Burton comes along slowly. And you know what I'm saying? And yeah, Ben Johnson is going to be fun this year. Fantasy.
Yeah, and I can see what you're definitely saying about Luther Bird, and
now he's going to have his reporter.
Yeah, I mean, his comp coming out was DJ Moore. You know how he was being compared and stuff like that. How he can, you know, take jet sweeps and stuff like that. So, I mean,
so they went and drafted the comp. I like that.
I've seen Debo as well. A bigger, faster Debo. 100%.
Is he as big as Debo?
Because he's bigger than Debo. Pause.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
No, wow. I mean, okay. I said wow because I'm like, oh shit, he's bigger than Debo. Pause.
We got to look at the message. It
was like a combo pause right there.
Gay. Come on now.
That's like that was the combo pause right there.
Right. Is there anybody like I said that has come out in this draft who you're not excited about, that, or you know, whether
to finish my answer, and I can morph it into two. I'm not excited about Tyler Warren.
Oh, you're not? You can fit into that category.
I didn't get to my Tyler Warren take, so I might as well just roll them all into one right here. Yeah, I don't really like anything. Hey, hey, look, if you tell me Danny Dumbass is actually gonna win this job, I'll come around on Tyler Warren. Anytime it's someone with error 50% Jackson, I'm not rocking with it.
JD, anybody that came out in the draft of the big time players that you feel maybe be a little overrated, or you're not thinking that's gonna live up to the hype that they're maybe building up to?
With the last two with the tight ends, just to end on that, those two tight ends where they're going to be drafted and redraft, they can be home run picks 100%. Like I said in shameless plug, if you want to go look at my wide receiver video on the Hard to Start podcast, go look at the Josh Downs breakdown 100%. Josh Downs did eat in them situations 100%. So I ain't scared about Tyler Warren. And when tight ends can be a position that can win you weeks, especially if you do have one of them top tight ends and what they bring to the table, especially where they're going to be drafted and redraft, because they're not going to have no high draft capital. 100%, they can be a key position. Then what you said about maybe somebody that I might be not too excited about is who we let off with the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be Tech. You know what I mean? 100%. I hope Leggett is one of the ones that's going to be able to eat in this offense. So I'm definitely not McMillan is somebody that I'm not targeting. I would rather have maybe Higgins over McMillan with CJ. 100%. I might rather have let's see, what was another wide receiver that I might like? Fucking Golden. Shout out to my dog JB. 100%. Golden might be walking into a situation where he's taking a lot of the target share from a mixture of wide receivers over there that can't do nothing.
Yeah, even if it's on a lower target market share team, right, or a lower pass volume team, he's still going to get all of it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's one of the guys.
Maybe him and Kraft.
I guess that's one of the guys that Peacock is not excited about, Golden, to be honest. And he says, saw Golden play in Texas and he straight up disappeared in a lot of games. Well, I'm hoping that happens to him in Green Bay, so he can continue to disappear in Green Bay and just fade into the bushes like Homer does.
So they drafted the guy they like then. Yeah. That's their type.
Yeah. They like them golden showers. So over there in Green Bay, so. I wasn't too surprised with that pick at all. And it's part of their team colors already. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just.
He has golden in his name.
Yeah. I would say stay golden, Pony Boy, but that sounds pretty nasty. So, also, DJ, I'm also not excited about that. So, he agrees with you there, sees the Tetris, getting built up to where.
The Tetris.
Hey,
we have blocks for
we got some NFC North beef going on right now.
Yeah. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Acknowledge it. Let's go. He threw the smoke.
I didn't know you were still in here. Stay tuned.
Green for the money and gold for the honey.
Right behind the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah, JB's still in the building. Shout out to the whole Stay Tuned Live family.
Probably what 100 years, 100 plus.
Do we have a Lions fan in here with us as well? Because I know Ninja's a Vikings fan. So do we have a Lions fan in this fantasy league?
We don't. We're all
okay. I mean, that's okay. That's good. We don't need all the representation.
We're all definitely honorary because of fantasy. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, hey, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And stay tuned. I will be, even though you are a damn cheesehead, I will be going to your page after this show and subbing up on the Stay Tuned Live. Like I said, I don't know how many Chicago trolls you went over in your chat, but you'll at least have one of them there. So
one of his co-hosts
Golden
is the Chicago Bears fan. Shout out to my dog.
Shout out to Brian. I met him last night.
Everything. So Ian, he's
sounds like good people.
Ian, there you go.
And he covers hockey too. So he is the Vegas Hockey Hub. So if you fuck with hockey, make sure y'all go subscribe to the Vegas Hockey Hub. That's my dog Ian. He is part of the Stay Tuned Live family. 100%.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him. He was a cool dude, and he steers the hell out of a ship too.
It's my guy. That's my guy.
Cool.
Ian in Vegas, crooked on everything. He Chicago Bears, 100%, bro.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
like I said, I like the guy already. I'm definitely subbing up and checking it out. So I want to hear what a fellow Bear fan has to say and how they intermix there, being a Bears and Green Bay fan.
Oh yeah, it goes down. It goes down. It's multiple Bears. I mean, there's multiple Packer fans on the panel, and Ian the only Bear fan. So he can mollywop 5-on-1 violence.
I love it. He's just standing there saying, "Yes, give me all the arrows. I can take it. I'm a bear." So Golden saying, or Peacock saying, Golden also had an unimpressive production profile that happened late. His combine pushed him up, and stuff like that always scares me in the NFL. That's true.
Combine monsters on everything.
Yeah, the underwear Olympics is what I also hear them called as well.
Facts.
So not a problem. Stay tuned. I would definitely will be checking you out, and then we'll definitely have to collab. I would love to do that.
So they do they got a Packers podcast, big bro. It's called Stay Packing, where it's just like how y'all do, just a bear, you know what I mean? On my mama, man. And I've been on. So when we after we played them last year, they brought me on to the Stay Packing podcast to break. We it was Packers fans and me, and we just broke down the game 100%. You know what I mean? So y'all definitely got some content coming up. Facts. Y'all definitely.
We always like to have, we're at the Clubhouse as well, the main show on Tuesday. We do like to invite guests on as well. So even if Green Bay fans, we would love to have you on there and talk your shit with Green Bay and represent and stuff. So
100%.
We'll definitely love to give it back and forth to each other. So we'll definitely get on that and do that.
Let's get it.
So let's chop it up here and talk about a few more of these rookie guys that I kind of had on my mind and wanted to get your opinions about. The second running back that came off the board ended up being Omarion Hampton, which is the guy I ended up getting with the pick as well, my draft pick. So what are your guys' thoughts on where he ended up with the Chargers, and how well do you think he'll play there along with Najee Harris?
I like it right out the gate because it's a Greg Roman offense. They did come out like just this week saying that they'll run a 50-50 and that Najee is going to lead it. That's just par for the course. It'll definitely be Hampton leading that thing by the time we get to like October. But like the sharing, I think they're not playing about sharing, but I'd still think it's going to be in favor of Hampton once we get to October, and he'll get like the lion's share of it. You know what I mean?
As the season goes on, as they kind of work them more in. Go ahead, JD.
Oh no, my bad. I was just gonna say in this offense as well, the running back is gonna get some action at the PPR value as well. So both of them do present. Well, I know Najee for sure presents PPR value. You know what I mean? We've seen him do it before. So if Marion can get on the ground, I mean on the field on third down, he gonna have some damn good value this year.
Yeah, no, I mean. that's what I'm hoping for. And then obviously being in the dynasty league, he's definitely the future going forward. Najee already has some wear and tear on those tires and stuff. So
And he only got a 1-year deal with them too.
Yeah, and it's really only $5 million. Like, so it's like $9 million with incentives, but like he could end up being relegated to like red zone work or even just goal line, even because that kid's gonna be like. I mean, they spent the first round on him. They're gonna use him. You know.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say it like this. I think Najee might be somebody that I'm fading.
I probably am fading him all the way as with you in a redraft.
100%.
Yeah, and redrafts, it's hard to get excited about drafting Najee. If you're drafting Najee, I may be okay with him being my number 3 back, but I sure as fuck don't want him as my number 1 back.
Yeah, because Amarion might get moved up a little bit too, though. You know, so you're gonna have to pick or choose either or you're gonna pay a high price to obtain both of those.
To obtain both of them.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, bro. I would rather have Amarion because, like Bogey said, at the end of the year, it's gonna be his backfield. That's what they spent this first.
By the time we get to October, watch.
Come on now,
because that line is really good too over there, and then you have McConkey with the addition of the kid Harris.
Trey Harris.
Yeah, exactly. So now you got a like Mike Williams like 2.0. Or at least if not just a younger version, you got a real burner on the outside. So they're gonna, that run game's gonna have some open lanes. Plus the mobility when it's a Greg Roman offense, that QB's getting off with his legs here and there. Also, you know what I mean?
That's facts.
Yep. All good points. All good points. How do you see Travion Henderson working out with?
He's my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Bogues as well. He's my favorite running back out of this class behind Gentry, bro. He's gonna come into this offense, and like we can name the running backs. We can go James White. We can go. Give me
the white boy, Woody. What's his name?
You go Woodhead. You can go multiple running backs.
Tambourine.
100%, and with bruh having. Being able to being a 3 down back, bro. Travion Henderson might.
Yeah, it's like better Stevenson because remember Stevenson was like that too, 3 down back, but he got wiggle for being a big guy, and and JD knows JD's the one that put me onto this one. It's that pass pro, man.
No, that wasn't me. That was MJD. Shout out to MJD, bro. That was him with the breakdown of Travion that got me on pause on Travion, bro. 100%. It
was still, I had it right though. It was still JD. It was just MJ. Shout out to
I like Peacock. I like that team name right there, the Hampton Inn.
I like that.
I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna send you an offer for Hampton now,
just to get the team.
Yes.
You know what?
Don't judge me.
There's a guy in the redraft league that did that all the time. He would try and trade for Kerry Kittle. He's a Niners fan, but if he couldn't draft Kittles, he would trade for Kittles. Try just so he can have his team name be Kittles and Bits.
I like it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the only time you could have it. It wouldn't make sense if you were Kittles and Bits and you didn't have Kittle.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a sin. That's a sin right there to have a team name like that when you don't have a player that kind of is on that squad of yours to kind of
we would vote him off the island.
Yeah. Peacock saying, I'm hoping that he doesn't turn into Sony Michel. That's Hampton. That is. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah, Sony Michel was the only one they missed on, but see, at the same time, they had James White and Deion Lewis there, so they gave all the grind.
Deion Lewis, that's another one.
Yeah, but this guy's
whoever's the better pass protector
got it all for that glorious 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With Belichick too, you needed to be the better pass protector to help out Brady as well. So anybody
even Josh Jacobs caught 50 plus balls. Pause.
Yeah.
Under Josh McDaniels, I should say, right? Because Josh McDaniels is now back there in New England. Also, one thing that's very notable with Josh McDaniels' offenses over the years was that they're going to pile up hella rushing touchdowns. I mean, y'all remember when LeGarrette Blount had like 18, they're all 1 yard, 18 touchdowns, they're all 1 yard plunges. Like this guy's going to get all of it potentially. And like the way Stevenson came off of last year with all the poor metrics and the poor yards per carry, like it's probably going to be the kid out of the gate week 1.
Gotcha. Well, we'll see. Like I said, I'm hoping that's the case, but we'll definitely see. Hardball definitely has to end up trusting him, and stuff, and feel comfortable, having him in his system there, Hampton. But
go back to the Hampton thing. I love the Hampton though. I love that he landed in a place that we'll be able to like be that we'll be comfortable that he's going to be like a RB1 is in line for his finish. You know what I mean? If he gets all the work and he stays healthy, that guy's going to finish as an RB1.
For real.
Is it a back end? Is it a high end? Yeah, who knows? But he has it in him. That's a system that'll do it.
I agree. One of the other guys that's I want to get your guys' opinion about, just curious, as far as with DK Metcalf, and like, do you see his value being the same with or without Rodgers, or is it really dependent on Rodgers being on that team for his value to be meaningful? Or is it, hey, it's DK, he's a stud, and he's going to produce no matter who's throwing him the ball?
JD, do you know how many touchdowns Pickens had last year, just off the top of your head?
I think 8.
He had 8 last year? Wow.
Hold on.
I didn't think he had that many, but
Hold on.
It's
Give
not
me a
bad.
second.
I mean,
I feel like he only had 3 in my mind. And I felt like that was because I was gonna say, didn't he only have 3? But then I was like,
I was going to give him a little bit more. I was going to say 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was 3. It was 3.
Okay, so it was 3. Wow. Okay, I nailed that.
It was
Yeah,
3.
that's what I worry about with DK. If it's like not Rodgers, because at least Rodgers will be able to move an offense, right? Like can racist Rudolph, extend drives or not extend drives, keep drives going? Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? He's a game manager, but that's not going to be great. Like maybe a top 36 would be his ceiling, right? Versus like if we get Rodgers, we can get a high end or mid range WR2 out of DK, which would be a top 24 finish.
Can you see him being like the next Devontae Adams, where he just force feeding him the ball just because it's the only guy he kind of trusts?
You know what Adams was pacing for if he played all year with Rodgers last year? It was like almost 200 targets, like 180 or something, 190 or something like that. So it's like it's pretty crazy. Like, and then same thing with no Devontae Adams there last year. Garrett Wilson was going to pace for like 170 plus targets. So yeah, Rodgers will pepper his guy. Is that defense going to be giving up a lot of points? And they're probably going to be trying to win more games, lower scoring, and run the ball a ton with Caleb Johnson, another guy who I love a ton, even more if you get Rodgers there. But yeah, I don't really DK. Okay, how about this? If he gets a 30% target market share, what's 30% of maybe like 18 pass attempts? You know what I mean? It's like,
gotcha.
Right? If we get Aaron Rodgers, we're probably going to get, a floor of 25 pass attempts and that's 30, 35, on the regular. You know what I mean?
They'll just trust him more to throw the ball in that offense compared to Rudolph. I mean, that's 100% facts right there. That's a good point.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, because if it is racist Rudolph, he's not throwing no more than 22 times a game, 100%. And
you're giving him more. I only give him 18.
Yeah, exactly. 100, no, for sure. It ain't gonna be too much. So, and then they gonna, there's nobody else that's posing no threat over there like that. So everything's gonna be shifted to DK. And with DK, he's not one of those receivers that's gonna be able to just do a whole lot with just his feet. He relies on his,
physicality,
his athletic profile. You know what I mean? So he's not that tactician to where he can make people do 360s and get open and have 2 yards of separation before the ball comes, pause. You know what I mean? That's not his game. So if you got racist Rudolph, that's, behind the helm, that's somebody that you definitely want to hit with the stiff arm and redraft for sure. But now if we bring in Aaron Rodgers, it's a whole nother story, because you still got firemen. Calvin Austin had some little spot games last year, but you never know. You know what I mean? If Aaron Rodgers is in play, he might have gave the okay, like, look, bro, we don't need bro right here. Go ahead and get what you need to get. You took care. I mean, I keep calling bro carry on. Go ahead, You want to get in there?
No. I'm just defending my.
You took Caleb Johnson in the first. You know what I mean? So that's another off. No. You took Harmon in the first, and then you came back and took Caleb. You know what I mean? 100%. So you're trying to build to where you're trying to have Aaron Rodgers come in and be all ready to walk into a situation. We don't know what Roman Wilson gonna be. We didn't see him last year. They took him in the 3rd or 4th round last year, so he might bring some potential and some stuff right there. You know what I mean? 100%. So if it just depends on if Racist Rudolph is there or if it's Aaron Rodgers that's behind the helm. On my opinion about the DK situation, just like Bogue, I think that's what Bogue said. But if it's Racist Rudolph, I'm passing on DK. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm so ready for what's behind door number 2 compared to Racist Rudolph. Like, if there is no Rodgers, it's like, fuck you, show me Will Howard. You know what I mean? Like, what's behind? Like, it can't be, and it's gonna be way better than Racist Rudolph. I already know.
If it's Racist Rudolph, then Caleb Johnson is the one that you want.
Yeah, maybe you can see if you can trade back for Pickens with the Browns, or the Browns cut him, and you're like, hey, you know me, I know you. We don't really like each other, but we need each other.
Well, they're going to bring just 3 days ago. It was like they were talking about bringing Amari Cooper back to to Dallas. So now it's like, all right, fuck it, Cooper, come on over here to Pittsburgh.
So, let me ask you before we wind up here. I think it would be almost a sin if I didn't get your guys' thoughts on the overall number 1 pick of the actual NFL draft, and Cam Ward getting selected with Tennessee. It was no surprise. Everyone had him mocked going there. Whenever we did our mock drafts, I mean, more likely than not, we always took Cam Ward, going to Tennessee. It was hard to kind of do otherwise just because of all the info and news coming out. But now that it actually happened, what are your thoughts on him going to Tennessee? How well do you think he will do there? Is there enough weapons around him with Tony Pollard, Sharp, Spears, being there? And now, do they have enough around him?
I love how you let off with the run game, because we have Brian Callahan over there, and I think in his 2nd season as the OC, and he brings to the table what his Pops brings to the table. You know what I mean? Is the run game. So now you got your quarterback that can play under center, because he has been in the pro style offense. Shout out to the U. I'm a big Hurricanes fan, 100%. So once you get that offensive line and that running game intact and be able to, you still got Ridley over there. I'm not expecting big things out of Cam Ward, but what I am expecting within going forward is once they get the offensive line, because that's what they do. That's what these Callahans is known for. Tony Pollard, they can get out of his contract after this year. So, they probably going to be targeting their main running back here coming up pretty soon, unless Mullins is, Mullins, I think they took him in the 5th round, somebody that they brought in the mix to compete with Pollard and Tajay, you know what I mean? But I think Cam Ward definitely does, he'll definitely be your 2nd quarterback, or, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, he'll definitely be your 2nd quarterback in a super flex, because with the addition of Tyler Lockett and fucking Ridley, you got 2 OG veterans that's going to be able to help little bruh adjust to what's going on. Now, you're not going to be able to get just immediate super value off of bruh, but as the season progresses, I think that he will be able to adjust, and he will be able to have start a 2nd quarterback value in a super flex 100%. Now, I might be a little biased because he is a Hurricane 100%, but I think I do that 100. Talk about it, Brad. I think he could be your 2nd quarterback in a super flex, bro.
All right. I mean, he does have his legs. The running threat's always good. Bogey, go ahead.
No, just saying, I'll agree with him, because especially if you tend to wait in the redraft, and we only play super flexes pretty much, like 90% of our leagues is super flex. So Cam Ward is immediately interesting because he's a guy who's not in danger of someone taking his job. He's not in danger of the only thing that we worry about is that we're gonna have to, you're throwing in a guy who's clearly gonna develop in real time. You know what I mean? But if you're waiting in a super flex, or say you do like hero QB and you take one early and just wait fucking forever after that, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? He'd probably be around what I always call a cutoff. I always like make a range where I'll make sure I get running or QBs before this cutoff, or Cam Ward, or maybe even a dart, you know, for a dart throw. Look what I did. It's right in front of my face, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Touche. I like what you did there.
Maybe like 3,500 yards is like a ceiling this year.
All right. Tennessee will find a way to muck it up. And remember, the Titans suck. I like that, Neon. I don't like that movie either, to be honest with you. I think that's one of the more like football movies for me, but that's just me.
I've sat through it so many times with people that have made me sit through it because they're like, dude, it's so good. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I've seen it.
It's all right. You know, it's whatever, but I'd like any.
Like, I remember this. Hello. Remember the Titans. I'm like, I've seen it once.
So, guys, we're getting towards the end here. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity real quick. If is there any players that you wanted to talk about that I didn't bring up, or that
there's a bunch, but where we're going to draft.
Damn it, you didn't call for it. Shit. I was hoping you would say something. All right.
There's a bunch, but we're definitely all at war right now, actively.
You got me. Shit. All right.
I'm glad we got to talk about the rookies that were drafted already in depth, because they should have been drafted. The ones that got drafted already, like look at the Genty pick. That's hell of a deal. Like, you know, he went in a dynasty startup. I put him closer to the 1-2 turnaround. So even just the fact that he fell out of that into the mid-second round, that was still value to me.
No, I agree. Like I said, I was foolishly to think that maybe as he kind of started to drop down, I was like, maybe he might make it back to me, and then he went, and it's like, no, he didn't. So,
that guy, my man Jay Breeze, he's from my hometown as well. He's definitely. Oh, I just realized we have four motherfuckers from San Ho in this. Oh, 5. Shout out to my brother-in-law too. We got San Ho all in this thing. Anyways. Yeah, he's a Raiders fan, so like he was so happy to get Gentry there. Like he went from being mad as fuck that he missed out on Brock Bowers again, because Jay Breeze is like, it's like the third startup that he did with us this year. But like he was mad again. Like I always can never get Brock, and he got Gentry, and everything was all good.
Yeah, no, it definitely worked out for him there this draft at least. So, real quick. I want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you so much for joining me tonight here. I really do appreciate you guys coming back over here and kicking it with me at the Clubhouse. Like I said this before, and I said it again, man, for you both, you guys.
Hey, come back.
You already know, bro. Keep going now.
Next time. Before we sign off, please, JD, let the good people of the Clubhouse know where can they find you, where can they connect with you. Please let them know. Shout out.
Hey, I appreciate that, Crook, 100%. Shout out to the whole Chicago Clubhouse, man. Shout out to the whole chat. Appreciate everybody that pulled up on us, man, 100%. Everybody that's going to war with us, y'all know what time it is, but you can find me at the Heart to Start podcast. All you got to do is type in Heart to Start, all one word, the number 2, any social media platform, you're gonna find me. But also you can find me on the Gen Wealth Network, man. We do we taking over this fantasy football these streets in this. We taking over the YouTube fantasy football streets. Excuse me. The track 7 got me feeling good, but yeah, 100%. But also, man, look, man, with us being in locked in with the Crook, man, look, man, the border getting pushed up this hill 100%, man. So you can find me Wednesday nights on Crook show whenever you make the back phone ring. I'm pulling up 100%, man.
Yeah. Throw the signal in the sky, and we're pulling up, man. And JD already said it, man. You can find us on all over the place, bro. You know what I mean? 100%. Gen Wealth Net on YouTube. And Bogart Scott free anywhere you consume your music: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal, things of that nature.
Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys do every morning, or most mornings, I should say, have the Wake Your Game Up and stuff, where they talk about just random news and stuff that happen throughout the day, and of course, any football content that may come up and stuff. We also talk about that and chop it up there. So if you guys haven't subscribed to their shows there on YouTube and stuff, I recommend you go ahead and do that. Peacock, thank you for joining me. I also recommend Peacock has a website as well where you can get merchandise. So if anyone's
Neon
interested,
Peacock.
if anyone's interested in that stuff, Peacock, if you want to put your link in the chat, more than cool with that, so people can kind of hit it up and see what kind of products you have out there. He's got t-shirts, he's got hats, he's got different sizes and colors and stuff like that. So if there's a thought process or something that you want, he can also customize and do something special for you. So go ahead and check them out. You may see some familiar faces like myself or Gucci or Bogard on there as well. So like I said, I highly recommend you go ahead and check out his merchandise, because you will not, I repeat, you will not be disappointed. So
yeah.
But guys, once again, any final words before we go ahead and bid adieu and say goodnight to these fine people?
Can I say it?
All right, man, guys. Thank you again for being out
Can I
here
say
and
it?
checking us out. Help us grow the Clubhouse. We want to get to 1,300 subscribers by the end of the year, and we can't do it without you guys. So if you haven't subbed up, please go ahead and do that. And remember, guys, be safe out there. Be good out there. But if you can't be good, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
We're all wolves over here at the Clubhouse.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.